Hi, this is Northwest Vista College, student of the semester, interviewing Mr. Gilbert Carrizales, trance performer and producer. Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Anthony, thanks.
Tell us where you're from.
I am from South Carolina, Sumter. I moved down to San Antonio when I was around 8 years old, and I've pretty much been here ever since then. I've also traveled actually a lot of places. I've been in Utah, I've been to California, I've been to Wyoming, been to Mexico, but my dream place is New York City.
Quite a traveler there.
Yes, sir.
So when did you first discover electronic music?
I first discovered electronic music the time I came down to San Antonio. Again, that was also when I was 8 years old. It was actually my mother who introduced me to electronic music. She bought a CD that contained, I want to say the artists were Ian Van Da, which was, I don't remember what song it was, but I remember the artist. There was DJ KC who produced Escape, and then there was other artists that I don't really remember off the back, but that's pretty much the first inspirations that I got.
So who are your influences and inspirations then?
My main inspirations and influences would have to be probably the artists that I eventually discovered later on, which were Paul Van Dyke, Armin van Buuren, DJ Tiesto, Ferry Corsten, Thomas Dat, Sean Tyas, New Energy, and I think my biggest inspiration of all time would have to be Giuseppe Ottaviani. He was pretty much the guy that sparked the idea, that pretty much sparked everything. What he does and his music just alone itself was a big decision maker.
So how do your family members feel? Do they support you?
About making trance music? Well, it's... I think my dad had a harder time accepting it because, excuse me, it took him a while to accept that I wasn't joining the military, and I actually decided to attend college and actually further my education. So I'm pretty sure with him it's a bit different, but I know my mom, she really enjoys my music. My tia, she enjoys the music as well. My cousins, and I have a couple of other family members down in Laredo who listen to my music, and they support me very well.
So when did you first start DJing?
I first started DJing at the same time I started producing music, which was 14 years old. I was 14 years old. I got a hold of Cubase, and I started producing my own tracks. And which is also the same time, again, I started DJing. I started DJing for local house parties. I DJed for a couple of quinceañeras, and a couple of birthday parties. You know, that was pretty much just the gist of it. And I think it was more fun up until when I got around 16 years old. That's when I started DJing at clubs. I DJed for Joe's Volcano for a little bit. I DJed at the venue. I DJed for Club Atomics, and I did the Warehouse venue once, I believe it was. So that was pretty much it for that.
So what do you do now? Still DJing or do something different?
Oh no. Right now I believe the term is called live PA, and live PA stands for Live Performance Act, and the difference between the two is that, as you well know, DJ means disc jockey. You mix and you play CDs, and you synchronize two CDs together, you know, one after the other. Each song you mix in effects at the same time. Live PA is different. Live PA, you perform your own music live, but you have to have good music to perform. Otherwise, it's pointless to try to play music that's not good quality, not really creative. And, you know, because of that, I stopped DJing when I was 17 years old, and I began performing live. And at the same time, my music actually started coming out semi-professional. So I knew I had something going on for me. Once I started performing live, it was a bit different. The setup was actually different. I used 2 keyboards, I used 2 laptops, and I ran both laptops of Cubase, and I ran a whole bunch of audio files, and I performed my own instruments. Again, that's the way it goes. With the live PA setup, I play the instruments within my music. At the same time, I can trigger samples, I can trigger effects, I can trigger loops, I play strings. At the same time, you know, I synchronize the tracks to the next track very smoothly. And it's a bit different because it depends on what tracks you use, depending on the BPM of your tracks. But again, that's pretty much what it is. You perform your music live. It's different because, you know, the feeling of playing live as opposed to DJing. When you play an instrument, you know, like the reaction you get from the audience, you're sharing the inspiration with the audience, and I think that's a much better bond than DJing the music. Again, I have much respect for DJs. You know, I again used to DJ. It was fun while it lasted, but I wanted something more. And you know, performing live, it gives a whole new meaning to electronic music. So
what kind of equipment do you have at home?
my room is pretty much an entire studio. I have 5 keyboards. I have 3 laptops, 2 Dells, and 1 Toshiba. And my keyboards, they're MIDI controllers. One of them is the Axiom 49. One of them is the Key Studio 25 and the Key Studio 49. I have the Etero PCR M50 49, and I also have the Bellringer UMX 49. And I use those. You know, people probably ask, why do you have so many MIDI controllers? Well, I use 2 of them to perform with, you know, to practice performing, and I use the other 3 to actually, you know, produce and to mix and stuff. So, and again, the laptops, they all run Cubase. They also run plugins such as Nexus, Hypersonic, Absinthe, Battery 3. They also run Slayer, and a couple of other plugins, but I don't really remember off the back of my head. That's pretty much the brief of it.
What are your goals for the future?
My goals for the future, well, for one, I plan on graduating from college. That's the number one thing. But as far as my music, it's always been my dream to be the next trance icon. Ever since I got into the electronic music scene, I've always wanted to inspire people. And you know, people will ask me, you know, well, hey, you know, well, what else do you inspire to, and how do you become something like this to actually inspire people with what you do? And for me, it's different because I have different perspectives, different beliefs of life, religion, and God. And well, you see, the thing is, people will tell me, well, how come you don't believe in God? And I say, well, you know, it's my beliefs are my own beliefs, and I have different perspectives of how, you know, we were here, and I inspire to that. I inspire to the vastness of the universe, the beauty of nature and life. I inspire to love. I inspire to heartbreak. I inspire to everything else that involves human emotion. That is what inspires me, and I try to give off a piece of that inspiration and that emotion within my music. You can really hear the magic within it. But again, my dream will always until I actually reach it, it's still going to be the next trance icon. Keep inspiring people to leave a huge legacy. And again, that's what I have in the future. That's what I have to look forward to in the future.
Alright, that concludes this interview. Gilbert Carrizales will be performing live Monday at Paul Van Dyke's concert.
Yes, sir, I will. I'll see y'all there.